Well, now we arrive in San Marino. As you can see, a very, very small, tiny country inside Italy. Or state, country, territory, whatever you want to call it. I think it's kind of more independent, yeah, than we see with official language Italian, yeah. Than we see with Gibraltar. But look at this, how tiny it is. So we have a few those states across Europe that they are very, very tiny, which is kind of interesting, I would say. But yeah, not sure exactly how heaven they are to people wants to escape taxes or I don't know, criminal justice or something like that. But they are clearly some sort of opportunities here. So let's go how to see how those people actually live. Population here, it's again, it's very small, 33,000 people. So yeah, it's not huge. So don't expect something crazy. But let's see how they manage to live their lives. So far, so good. Again, what huge advantages that small countries with small population have? It's, again, small population, huge advantage. And being a small country, that means that the infrastructure can rapidly can be made very, very well in a short amount of time and with low maintenance. So yeah, that's why you see those countries usually doing very well, at least on the surface. So yeah, cars, this is pretty good. This is what, May 2024. So way more recently than we saw with Andorra, for example. Overall, houses not so bad, although I would say some nice plants here. I would say not that much land and in the same time not much privacy between those houses. But overall, yeah, it's pretty decent. That's a weird combination of cars, but fine. 30 kilometers an hour, yeah, it's way too low. It should be at least 50 here. I mean, like, it's insane. You can go 30 kilometers an hour here, just maybe for the bikes, but not for cars. Again, roads pretty decent. They have some minor issue each and there, but not a huge amount. Although, again, not that many people, not that much traffic. I will expect it much better. 50, now it's supposed to be 70 at least here. So I don't know who make those, probably the local police, those speed limits, but they should get really upgraded because we have pretty much brand new cars that can, right now, they can brake by themselves. So yeah, we should update those legislation. I think they are way, way behind with the potential of the cars. So yeah, unfortunately, once again, bureaucracy and politics stay behind the real life. What else can we find here? Well, outside those small towns, whatever they have, oh, look at those are rich guys, Range Rover and Porsches. And this is what, 2024? Really rich guys. Houses, I'll be honest, they looking pretty nice, and I'm assuming that they look even better on the inside. What is that? Caesar Walter? Eagle? But again, I'm not that convinced by this local architecture, I have to say. It just doesn't feel to me like something absolutely great. That's a nice car here, expensive ones. Usually they break all the time, but I guess they have money for repairs here. I'm not sure exactly how well financially they do. We're gonna look at the numbers in a second, but overall they seems to be pretty decent. Oh, look at this, a village in the hills. Probably, yeah, one of those mountains, old ones, which is looking pretty good. I like this pavement here. Car, this is what, 2024, very recently. Car's pretty good. 30 minutes or what? Then I'm gonna confiscate your car. That's insane. Hopefully it's gonna be at least for free, but I have a feeling that they wanna make some money with your car, so probably they're gonna charge you some money at some point. Maybe not there, but again, at some point they're gonna charge you. That's Europe. That's they trying to socialism. They try to charge you for even breathing the air. They're gonna have those rules pretty soon, I will assume. What else can we see here? Well, again, parking lots. Yeah, definitely you have to pay for this one. There is no way. Yeah, look at this. There is no way they're gonna offer something for free. With all the socialism that they have here in Europe, when it's about cars or anything that express individual freedom, they tax it as the fucking hells here. So they have like we appreciate the socialism, you know. We encourage the individual, but if you really go for individualism, no, they're gonna tax you. You're not gonna have any money left, pretty much. So yeah, that's Europe, in case you're wondering. That's pretty much the same story, especially in the West. And now they becoming in the east too, because they can east it's much more corrupt. So they see this opportunity that well, we can charge people for pretty much anything, and then we can steal the money. So it's a really good opportunity for them to do that. So this house not so well maintained, but I like the pavement. At least it's a bit better. But yeah, it's kind of weird choice of the house here. Like it's an apartment building. It's a what is going on here? It's a bit strange for me. But again, it's Europe. It's a small state. It's San Marino, for God's sake. Look how small it is. I don't even know where it's end, where it starts. Wow, that's some sort of a huge complex buildings here. Probably some sort of an industrial district, I will assume. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly how well they're doing here with money. Judging by the cars and how they live, probably they're doing pretty well, but again, with high taxes and want a coffee, like 15 euros or something like that. So yeah, not exactly a paradise. But they seems to be pretty decent if you, I don't know, want to visit there. I mean, like we're already in Italy. I mean, wow, this road looks absolutely horrible, and someone is just going outside there. I have to say, not that much appealing to living in a place like this. I mean, like it's pretty much Italy with some weird takeouts. I mean, those housing is really weird, and the roads, not so great, I have to say. Not impressed so far, I have to say. Yeah, let's check this small village here. Maybe gonna get a bit better here, but highly doubt that. Yeah, the same story with the housing. Look at the Google Street View car. That one was actually a bit better. That one is a bit better. They have kind of huge houses here. I'm not sure exactly how many people living in those houses, but how many they can be. Oh, this is 2015. 10 years ago, for God's sake. How many people living in a house like this here? It's like, it's way too big for just one regular family. And this is how 33,000, how much was that? 33,000 people looks like when you check them in the housing market. I mean, it feels like most of the people living in those weird house apartments or whatever they are, which again, not something that should be proud of that. It's interesting parking right there on the speed bump. Oh yeah, we have some fans of an Inter football team here. Some sort of a project manager here, I assume. I mean, it looks not that jamming together when it's about, let's say, parking and finding, I don't know, maybe even a house here. But the way they live, I will say very European. That's the kindest thing I can say about them. Very European. Oh, that's a nice house. See, that's pretty good. Unfortunately, I don't like the fence. It's a lot of money. And this one, it's a bit better, but not by much. Oh, that's really nice. I mean, this is my type of house here, right here. But again, no privacy whatsoever. They need some bigger plants here. Yeah, it does look pretty good. Oh, look at this nice land here. That's nice. I mean, this one is pretty nice. I really like that house. That was pretty good. And check the backyard for a second. Okay, that's much more privacy. So I guess they figured it out. That for the backyard, but and have some even outside door in the background. Yeah, it doesn't look that appealing, but at least they have a nice, decent, judging by the name, a nice backyard. But the house is still pretty big. And they have solar panels on everything, so I assume the electricity is very expensive because nobody puts those inefficient solar panels and very expensive. If the panel is not expensive, trust me, in this region of the Europe, the installation, the fee for that, it's gonna be wildly expensive. 100% sure of that. This is not like I say third world labor. Let's call it like that. This is like a premium labor for the same reasons, pretty much. The bus station doesn't look so well, I have to say. I don't know what's happening there, but yeah, and graffiti here. At least it's clean. I Not sure exactly what's happened either here on the ground. Here the same, they have some sort of a crack here. I don't know, maybe some earthquake or something like that. No, not showing. I'm not sure. But 50 kilometers an hour, no, that's way too low. It's supposed to be at least 70. You have to travel, for God's sake. You don't just waiting for losing the daylight, for God's sake. So yeah, overall, I have to say pretty boring. I don't know. I didn't see something that's gonna be like, wow, super interesting or something that we didn't see so far. I mean, in Andorra was better, for God's sake. Gibraltar was way too small. I didn't like that either. But here it feels like very boring, very, and I don't know. It doesn't satisfy me at all. It's just, I mean, it's fine, but not something that's gonna say, wow, that's really great. It feels like a nice, quiet town, although very boring in the same time. And no idea why everybody makes those big houses. Just how many people living in a house like this, for example? I mean, like, these are two, but oh, we have a bus station here. Let's check this one. Yeah, the same problem. I'm sure I have no idea what's happening here. So not even a bench. What's the point of that? It's like, okay, so maybe they're not that civilized. And the roads here is pretty bad condition. Overall, it does look bad. The trash cans, yeah, it's fine. I don't have a problem with that, but it's very bad. The road is not that great. Housing, yeah, some of them looking pretty nice. I mean, this one I kind of like it. Not much privacy, but maybe those plants is gonna grow at some point. How much was that? 50 kilometers an hour speed limit? No, it's at least 70 here if it's not 100. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed, I have to say. Wherever we go, it's the same story here. So yeah, I'm not gonna stay too much here. It's a small country, but they could do much better than this. Unfortunately, they failed, in my opinion. So population 33,000 people, as you can see, but 1955, only 13,000 people living in this land, which is kind of interesting. I mean, like when you look at the map, it's even 13,000. It's pretty decent, but now with like 33,000, feels a bit crowded. But let's see. So 1955, 13,000 people, 14,000 people in this land, 1.2, 1.3% increase rate. That'll be roughly around 169 people per year. Migration 73, median age 30 years old, and the fertility rate back then 2.5. Density was 230 people per square kilometer, which is insane. Urban population back then was 46%. That'll be roughly around 6,300 people to manage. But fast forward to 2025, population grew more than double, almost triple, 33,500 people. Population start to go down minus 0.03%, and they start going down since pandemic. Another country affected highly by pandemic, and they affected most likely not because of the pandemic. It's more likely for the policy of the of the governments, local government. Migration 122, so clearly the local population, it's much lower fertility rate. The people born there from native population, it's going to be way lower. Clearly they try to replace them with migrants. Median age around 48 years old. Fertility rate 1.1, 1.2. Ooh, that's pretty low. And they got below replacement when? In 1975. Ooh. So then where the problem starts in 1975, I guess. Density now is 560 people per square kilometer. Absolutely insane. And probably urban population by now it's 100%, so it doesn't even show the numbers. Forecast for 2050 population is gonna have some transition. They're gonna say they're gonna rise at some point and then going back down, which is again 33,600 people, which is a bit more than they are today. I guess it's stable at some point, but look at this yearly change minus 45, and migration still on plus, over 100 people, 180 people on plus. So I guess they clearly replaced the population, the local population, with migrants. Not sure exactly, probably most of the migrants are Italians, I will assume, but still you replace the local population. So probably at some point they're gonna lose the status of the state, independent state. Median age 50 years old, fertility rate 1.3, and density 562 people per square kilometer. Again, not a huge change, but still very high numbers. Yeah, what else? Okay, the pyramid, as you can see, the base is getting narrow with some sort of a, judging by this chart, bit more male surplus in population. I don't think they care that much about that. Because 1864, 7,000 people living in this land. Wow. And fast forward now is 33,000. Quite insane, but it is what it is. Economy was San Marino. Well, economy, that's a pretty nice picture here, looking pretty good. Don't expect much, to be honest, but it's still pretty decent. 2.8 billion US dollars. How those people produce that much money? Probably they got some help from the Italians, I would say, Italian government. And PPP around 2.9, so it's very close. So the life probably is uber expensive here. Growing rate 4.6, 1.2, 1, yeah, pretty much zero. GDP per capita 61,000 US dollars. Nominal in PPP around 82,000 US dollars. So these are really good numbers, but yeah, from what we saw in the street views, they look nice. The houses is pretty okay. It's not something like compared with what's here in Africa, not even close. But again, has that boring feeling that kind of don't like it. Agriculture 0.1% industry, 39% industry, okay, and services 60% in 2017 numbers, inflation 1.95% in 2020, yeah. I don't care what they say, inflation is bad no matter what. Unemployment 7.6% in 2019 and going down. Ooh, so I assume pandemic year was well above 10, maybe 15%, so yeah, things not so great there. Corruption, I don't think we have corruption for such a small state, but let's check it anyway. It's way too small. Probably gonna have to assume something like whatever they have in Italy. San Marino, yeah, we don't even have it here. Saint Lucia, San Marino. No. We do not have it. But in Italy, it's around what? Wow, it's pretty corrupt in Italy. How much corruption they have in Italy? Where is Italiano? Italy 54 points and down 10 points. Wow, Italy becomes more and more corrupt, and pretty soon they're gonna go in a category as perceived as more corrupt. It's pretty bad. Yeah, pretty bad. Like I say, corruption is on the rise in the West. I don't think for a second just because we go in the West, the corruption is gonna go down. No, it's actually going up corruption. So, and that's what we know so far. It's a lot of things that we don't know, and trust me, it's corruption is much higher there. Okay, what else can we see? Official language is Italian, obviously, 90% Catholics, obviously, and 7.5% no religion. Guess that's gonna grow with time. Probably they're using Euro too, or what? Not sure exactly, but most likely they're gonna use the Euro. GDP, we're gonna look at those numbers. Yeah, some pictures here looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Like I say, it's very, very small states. Very small. Probably people like it here, but they have probably like a rich history. Again, nice shops there, nice architecture, nice buildings. I mean, it's pretty much Italy, for God's sake. What is that, an airport? I didn't see it right. The Airporto Internazionale de Summer. They have an airport here and we don't see it? Where is the airport? I don't see a runway. Where is the airport, for God's sake? That it's outside the San Marino? Because I didn't see an airport here. Maybe I missed it, but I don't know. Maybe it's a very small one, but I highly doubt that. I don't think they're gonna land a plane on the road just like that. It just has to have some sort of an airport, but I don't see it. I just don't see it where it could be. You have a quarry here, but here maybe, but no, it's not. I don't know. They say they have one, so I'm assuming they don't lie. And I assuming it's inside the border, not outside the border, but yeah, it's kind of strange. I didn't see it. Maybe it's somewhere there, but who knows? They have some sort of a baseball court here. Yeah, that's probably a big fan there. Anyway, They have a Formula One circuit. They have some sort of a food here, local food. So yeah, overall it's pretty interesting. Small country, small population. Probably it's gonna be extremely expensive to live in one of those places. Not to mention visit one of those. Probably like it's gonna cost you some serious money. Oh, I want to go there, but yeah, we cannot go there. Again, with those roof panels, every time I see those solar panels on the houses, and we know like the solar panels right now, it's the efficiency is like around 20%. So not that efficient in the first place. Usually means like the life is expensive here because the energy is gonna be expensive, and if you have energy expensive, then everything else is gonna be expensive. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna be easy life here, but it looks nice. I have to give them that. It's clearly not the worst place to live in the world, but it's just doesn't feel that wow to me. It's just some houses like this one. It's more on my test. 30 kilometers an hour, not even close, buddy. Not even close. It was like at least 70 here, and they have some decent lands in some areas. This one, it's a pretty nice house too. It's just I don't know. It has that boring vibe, I would say, which I don't want to be that rude, but that's a nice house here. See, I'm not complaining about those ones, and they clearly wants to have more privacy. They just those plants didn't grow as fast as they planned, probably. Wow, look at the pool here. I mean, clearly some people they have a really good life here, but yeah, probably it's extremely expensive and it's not for everybody. And if you just make a really good life for everyone, for just a few, not for everyone, you don't have that much bragging rights, in my opinion. It's just, yeah, everybody has rich people in their country. You don't have something wow. But yeah, probably that's the airport, I assume. But that's outside the country, yeah. So yeah, that was the video. If you live here, which I highly doubt that, but if you live here, leave a comment, say how things are going up there, because that'll be interesting. Otherwise, yeah, see you in the next video.